Hi, welcome to ShowMeTheCurry.com. I'm Anuja.
And I'm Pickle, and today we're making Puli Inji. Now this is a really sour ginger pickle, and it can be spicy, it can be mild. It's really up to you how you want it, but it's delicious.
It's actually got a wonderful balance of sweetness, the sourness from the tamarind, and the spice from the chilies if you want it. But like you said, Puli Inji, Puli is sour and Inji is ginger, so literal translation. Let's get started. Okay, we start off with tamarind, one of the main things in this chutney. It's basically, I think the closest resemblance would be chutney or pickle. And so what we did this morning was we took about 250 grams. We had a brick of tamarind. So it was a brick of half a tamarind. What we did was we kind of broke it up, put 4 cups of water, put the tamarind in here, allowed it to come to a boil, and then just turn it off and let it sit for a while. And it's been about 3 hours now.
And it was covered.
Yes. And look at it, it's softened up quite a bit. So this is a great way to take out the the juice or the paste from the tamarind brick.
Right. Now, a lot of people use tamarind that is not in that dry form, and there's wet tamarind available, there's tamarind pulp, there's tamarind concentrate.
Paste,
so if you're using any one of those, then of course you can skip the step or modify it, and you don't have to soak it as long.
Right. So I've washed my hands, and of course the water is cool to touch. So I'm just going to break down the lumps and just make it easier for all the paste and the flavor to come out.
And while Anuja is doing that, this is the star ingredient besides the tamarind into this pickle, and it's ginger. So what we've done is we've taken about 5 ounces of ginger, and I've just scraped it so the skin comes off, and we're going to roughly chop it. And we have a grinder here, or a food processor. We're going to put this in. And we're going to break down this ginger. Now, we don't want an entire paste, but we're going to pulse this and create just like bits of ginger.
And this is ready. I have a bowl over here with a colander on it. I'm going to strain it through the colander and try and remove all the fiber and the seeds out of it.
And you can see all the tamarind pulp coming through. Okay, so let's go ahead and process this ginger. And again, we're going to pulse this. Okay, let's take a look. And this is perfect. It's not a complete paste, but it's a fine mince. And we're going to do the same thing with our green chilies. Now, like we mentioned before, this can be as spicy or as mild as you like. We're using these small green chilies, and we're using about 20 of them. And again, just pulse.
So you're just going to put another 2 more cups of water in here and just get the rest of the juices out. This is probably the messiest part of the whole process, but this is the best way to do it.
So our ginger and green chilies have been finely minced, and they're ready to go.
And the tamarind is ready as well.
And so we're going to go to our stove now and start cooking this down.
So I have a pan over here, and it's got 2 tablespoons of oil heating up, and it's hot. So to this we're going to add 1/4 teaspoon of hing or asafoetida. And immediately after that, a 1/4 teaspoon of haldi or turmeric powder, 2 sprigs of curry patta or curry leaves, right after that, the ginger and the green chilies. Mix it well. And basically we're going to cook it down till the ginger kind of loses its raw flavor.
So while that's happening, we're going to start prepping for a couple of the other ingredients. Now we're using jaggery in this recipe, and that gives it the nice sweetness also in addition to the sour. So a lot of times you get jaggery in chunks like this, and it may or may not be really good quality jaggery because sometimes it does have impurities in it. But ours is pretty good. We've tested it before and it's clean, so we're going to use it as is. But if you do have the jaggery that has some impurities in it, you can take the one, instead of 2 cups of water we put in here, you can take the 1 cup of water, melt down the jaggery, and then filter it and remove all those impurities. But we're using about 5 ounces here. And again, it really depends on your taste, how sweet you want it, how sour you want it, and what the balance should be. We're using about 5 ounces here.
So it's been a while, but this looks good. Look at the color. It's got a little color, and you can tell the ginger is done. And you want it to have a little bit of crunch, but if you don't like that, carry on cooking for a little longer.
Right.
But we're ready for the tamarind. Okay, we've mixed it in, and we're going to salt it just a bit. Now it's just going to reduce, so just be careful. We're going to start off with 1 teaspoon right now. We can always adjust later on.
Now it does look like a lot of pickle, but don't worry, it is going to cook for quite a while, and it's going to reduce, and what you're going to end up with is nowhere close to what it looks like right now. And plus we're taking all this effort, so we might as well make a big batch because it has a great shelf life.
So I'm going to increase the heat a little bit, take it up to a medium high, and let it cook like Hetal mentioned, and we'll keep stirring it in between. And we have a splatter guard over here. I'm just going to cover it with that so that it keeps reducing and yet it doesn't splatter all over the place. Alright, this looks good. You can actually taste the tamarind and see if it's cooked, and ours is perfect. And we like the consistency also. It will get thicker. To this now we're going to add the jaggery and allow it to melt.
And we've had the tamarind going for about 20 minutes, depending on your flame. If you have it on a really high flame, it should take about 20-25 minutes. If you have a little bit lower, then it should take a little bit longer.
So ready for the seasoning. We have 2 tablespoons of oil heating up, and it's hot. We're going to add 1 teaspoon of mustard seeds and some dry red chili, and of course curry patta. Turn off the stove and put it on the Puli Inji. Mix.
So our Puli Inji is ready to go, and it looks so yummy. I mean, this I guess is traditionally eaten with rice, but I think spread on a piece of toast or maybe even chapati would be fabulous as well.
I totally agree. I love it with egg sandwich. It's just like fabulous.
Sounds great.
Yeah. And every time we do a pickle or a chutney recipe, it's so popular. Have you noticed?
I've noticed, and I know why, because I can't wait to try this.
No, I think our viewers have got good taste. I think that's the bottom line. Let's try.
Wow. Hitsu, sour, ginger, yum, and a hint of sweetness. Now, you can always do the taste test and adjust the salt as you need, and even the jaggery, if it's a little less for you, you can go ahead and add it in and just keep the stove on for a little while, let it melt through and cook through. It's absolutely up to taste.
A lot of it is to taste, yes. So, honestly, it's a very forgiving recipe. Anybody can do it.
Yep.
Right, and like we mentioned, it's chutney or it's pickle, so just a little bit on the side. And don't just pour the whole thing over your
rice
and just and then cuss us later on. but
the other thing is a great shelf life, so just get a clean container, a clean jar, or even a plastic dabba. Put it in there and keep it in the refrigerator, and it'll stay for months.
Right. So this is made in a lot of southern parts of India, and a lot of families have their own little twist to it, because I know this of course is I think typical Kerala thing, but in Tamil Nadu, if you go, they put a little bit of dal, the urad dal or the chana dal in the seasoning, so it has like a little bit of that crunch, when you bite into it. So I think a lot of regional differences that make a very big change, difference in taste. So anything you do is like really, really good. So awesome recipe. So enjoy this Puli Inji and join us again on another episode of ShowMeTheCurry.com.
Adding a pinch of spice to your life.